Money is becoming cheaper and Commerzbank offers Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hey, welcome to the KryptoEule. Today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and what's happening right now. In one of the recent videos, I mentioned that the topic of interest rate decisions is very important, and that is exactly what happened yesterday. Now, let's take a look at the current Bitcoin price. We can see that it has shot up even when we look here at the 4-hour candle above the 200 line, and this is very positive and also necessary after having danced around it for a while, then briefly going down and then dancing around the line again. Now we are above it again, which is very important for the price. And this whole situation brings us back into our death zone. Remember, until then it was the death zone where we, if we look back at the daily chart, were stagnating for a long time. Take another look at that. So anyone who remembers this, from March until we actually dipped a bit in between, we were just drifting along until June. So during the beginning of the year and also around the halving, we were drifting in this zone, or rather 64. And now we have completely crashed into the summer slump here in August, as we can see. Yes, and then continued to fight here, and now on the way back, it's almost the end of September. So today is the 19th of September. Yes, and yesterday I said that crypto can rise. In the video, I talked about what needs to happen for it to continue rising. When it rises properly, yes, and one of the major topics was exactly this. Money becomes cheaper because interest rates are falling, and if I want to acquire new money now, I pay less interest on it, so money becomes cheaper. And the US Federal Reserve has lowered this key interest rate. Let's take another look at that. And Bitcoin reacted directly here, as we can see in the chart. Bitcoin did not react directly afterwards when we look at the hourly chart. It was 8 p.m. here. I have also switched to German time for this whole thing. So for anyone who wants to see this, I am now here in the German chart. Otherwise, I am always in the English one and have to look for the times. In German time, it was 8 p.m. and at this 8 p.m., as we can see here, the candle was still mixed. So it went up quickly, but it also went down. When you look at short tickers like 5 minutes and so on, you can see that while everything shot up, it also climbed back down quickly. So there wasn't a direct agreement, and people said, if it does not rise now, when will it? Yes, statements like, if it doesn't rise now, then I will lose faith. And then it happened again here that the price jumped down even below because they said, what kind of crazy market is this? Yes, and then during the night, things got exciting and the green candles started coming in. Here in the hourly chart, it looks even stronger in the 4-hour chart. What is important now in order to maintain this price is what the stocks are doing next. This is a very, very important topic. What is going to happen next? The S&P 500 is also important to watch closely. It starts at 3:30 p.m. We are already taking a look at everything in the pre-chat. It looks very positive. Coinbase, Microsoft, everyone is trading above. Google, Tesla, and so on, everyone is trading above, which will impact the S&P 500 and is doing so. So it's very, very positive to observe everything here, which is why it will shoot up soon. This doesn't mean that Bitcoin will make a drastic upward movement right now, as Bitcoin has already made that movement, but Bitcoin could definitely benefit from this. 2001, when the S&P shoots up, we'll check in at the end of the video because it's just before 3:30 a.m. and then we'll know more. Now let's take a look at the interest rate hike. The interest rate cut, because we have, and we need to set this aside, we have been talking about an interest rate increase for 4 years now, and we can see that here we haven't had this here before. They did go down, but since 2020, not much happened for a long time and then only went up. That means we did not previously talk about a reduction, which means a 4-year cycle could be applied here. So we can clearly see here, this is intense. If we go to max, yes, you could also say from 15 to 20, maybe a little more than 4 years or so. Here, from 9 to 19, 10 years, no increase. Nothing, 1,000, then a big increase, then a decrease, now a drastic increase. We see this more and more, like even in 2018 or respectively. In 2019, and now due to Corona, there has been a drastic increase in interest rates to combat the severe inflation we have seen. Money was printed to strengthen the markets and to acquire vaccines, among other things. Well, there were many topics that perhaps weren't publicly discussed, which is why we need money, but many things where money was simply printed to avoid a severe downturn in the economy and, of course, to prevent the market from collapsing due to this global corona pandemic. Yes, and as a result, interest rates have risen because there was a desire to curb the inflation that accompanies it. When a lot of money is created, a lot of inflation also arises. And for the first time, they have now lowered these interest rates, not just gradually by 0.25%, but directly to 0.5%. And that is drastic. We can see it. The forecast was 5.25 and currently it is 5%. This means that the forecast was even exceeded, which was definitely positive. So, cheaper money, and here, a Bitcoin price that is now rising, which is positive. Now the S&P 500, look at that. It shot up directly here. We can take a look here. Let's briefly check back at the end of the video when we look at the market again. So it's positive to observe the whole situation. But as just mentioned, Bitcoin is not reacting strongly upwards right now because Bitcoin has already shown this reaction. If you now say you want to buy cryptocurrencies as well, buy Bitcoin and not just have a shirt, but buy Bitcoin, then take a look at the exchange Maxi. Maxi really has some amazing low fees. Most cryptocurrencies around the world from all crypto exchanges have listed the most cryptocurrencies, over 3,000, and they are approaching 3,200. So over 3,100 are already listed and more are being added every day. It's insane. Even 0% spot fees. You really have to take that in. This means that if you go here now and say, I want to buy Bitcoin, you can do that with 0% fees. That's crazy. You can do it just like you know it with a limit order, then you enter a price yourself and it will be triggered. That means when you say, look, it has just risen so high, it will go up again. He gives you $100 or whatever you are willing to deposit or spend. Yes, then he automatically buys for you at that price or market price. Then the best price is selected from the order book. I mentioned over 3,000 cryptocurrencies. You can scroll here like crazy. If you click on all here, you can see the list, and I believe we can agree that it is long enough. Even here, you can check who is performing the best. And yes, those who have a significant impact naturally have many opportunities to rise dramatically. At the same time, there is future trading, or as you know, going long and short is familiar to you all, and there is a daily bonus available every day. Here, past events always end up being $2,001. Here, many more are shown every day, donuts, and in between, maybe the money ran out or I don't know what was going on. In any case, there are usually over $1 every day as a bonus. If you are an active trader here, feel free to take this with you. At the same time, there are always Kickstarter events. If you want to learn more about Kickstarter and Maxi, check out the video above. And if you want to register, you can also get 10% cashback for the few fees that currently apply to you. Fees will also rise again, so check the link in the video description or the pinned comment. There you can get another 10% cashback, cheaper money due to interest rate cuts by the central bank. Yes, and at the same time, I now have cheap money at a bank, but wouldn't it be even better if I could buy Bitcoin directly at the bank as a company instead of using a ledger and a cryptocurrency exchange and so on? And now Commerzbank is making this possible for its corporate clients. No joke, it's absolute madness. They applied for a crypto license in 2023, and now the time has come for them to partner with crypto finance to offer Bitcoin and Affirm. At least that's what the article suggests, stating that they are opening up the opportunity for their corporate clients to take advantage of the opportunities presented by Bitcoin and Ethereum. To me, it reads as if they are initially offering Bitcoin and companies, but it could be that they will offer more directly. Commerzbank and Crypto Finance, a subsidiary of the German stock exchange, now offer corporate clients of Commerzbank in Germany a secure and easy access to cryptocurrencies. That's impressive. The news about this can be found here with a link in the video description. Whoever says, I would like to read through the whole thing completely, here it is. And there are a few more details for you, but I believe it is already clear where we can focus, namely on corporate clients. This is a very important topic, as we say. This is not directly for everyone. It is not directly for all, but first and foremost only for corporate clients. And that shows that one says, yes, we are taking a step forward, but first in small increments, and that is positive, especially when we consider the major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. As I understand it, there could be more to come. So I am very curious to see when this will take off. Perhaps you are familiar with the corporate clients of Commerzbank. Overall, a very positive sign and absolutely top news of the day that this is finally working. I am very curious to see how this will be utilized. But Yusen also considers that the bank wants to profit from such products. That means even if you think now that you can do it directly at the bank and have nothing to do with it, they will charge fees for custody, they will charge fees for purchases, and even if this eventually applies to all customers, I believe that the fees are definitely higher than if you, for example, if you deposit through a third party at Maxi, you might pay a small fee, maybe around $2, and then you won't pay any fees at Maxi. You will definitely be better off than doing the whole thing at a bank. I am quite confident about that. But then there is the downside. They do take care of the custody, but at the same time, you pay fees for it and you would still have to manage the custody yourself. Keep in mind, I am a Tangent partner and very proud of it. Tangent, a simple hardware wallet. The link for setup is available here, and the link for purchase can be found in the video description or the pinned comment. But you already know all of this. I don't need to tell you anymore. This is what the data looks like. There is a bit of a selection of cards, and you basically have to store your cryptocurrency yourself. But that is actually how Bitcoin is intended to be. Bitcoin is there to be the people's money, and therefore it should also be stored by itself. But the downside is that you have to buy a hardware wallet and take care of it. So, what do you want? To buy cryptocurrencies cheaply and manage them yourself? Or would you prefer to buy cryptocurrency and pay high, very likely high fees in 2021 and have nothing more to do with it? Meaning just saying, hey, by the way, I want to sell now, I like the price. And then, of course, the question is, what do you pay again for a closing fee and for a withdrawal fee? So yes, everything has its pros and cons, and that has always been the case. When you think about exchanges like Bitpanda, yes, they are super secure, super easy, and very beginner friendly. You can also buy gold, which is reserved for you, but you have to pay fees, whereas with Maxi, you don't pay any fees. But I wouldn't leave them there either, at least not large sums with Maxi. Instead, I would prefer to put them on a hardware wallet where you have to take care of it yourself. So you see, no advantage without a disadvantage. No disadvantage without an advantage. Crazy world, but that's how it is. Then I have another announcement which is very interesting, and I believe many people are looking forward to it. So we have done some live streams, and I really had to check when did we do them. And yes, it is really true that we are from June 2021 to December. In 2023, there were over 100 weekly live streams in total, including interruptions. There were also additional streams such as listings or a talk and so on. And we did all of that, 100 live streams. It was a very popular format, and the community and many people keep asking, when will you be back? I know someone, for example, who says, I have so many final questions. When are you coming back? And I am really looking forward to it. We agreed on the 29th of September. We will be live at 8:30 p.m., just like you know it. I must say, I'm very curious to see if everything works out because we have new streaming software. What you see here, this new view, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if it all works. I hope I still need to read up on that a bit, but at the end of the day, it's a bit easier for both of us, the streaming software. But you all know, every beginning is hard, but at the end of the day, as long as you see us, we have a microphone, we can chat together, and you can ask a question in the chat. I would say that helps us all. Yes, and then I still need to include a tweet from someone else at the end of the day, or at the end of the video, and that is from Mirko. Mirko writes, is the moment now here? He posted this wild speculation or this image. Let me enlarge it. That might be easier. And yes, could it be that one says, if this is the bull market of crypto, that we have now left this moment of the summer slump? This optimism, then the beat trap, that we are now in the beat trap phase and now shooting up with another bull phase and again here. I don't know. It's definitely a wild speculation, and at the same time, everyone who says yes, what does that tell me? Now look here on the right are prices. Dollars are displayed here. Yes, and Mirko was also the one who said that if it doesn't rise after this interest rate cut, then he will lose faith. And that's exactly how I see it as well. So, it's very interesting to observe what happens next. I will definitely keep you updated and show you what happens next. Yes, let's take a quick look at Bitcoin for the conclusion of the video and see clearly, as I mentioned, the S&P 500 is shooting up, no question about it. Now someone might say it's a gap, it needs to be closed, but ultimately it's just so short. So he can briefly go down again and then gain momentum to pull Bitcoin up. Let's see. But as I said, the S&P 500 will start high here, but Bitcoin won't be too affected because it has already passed its peak phase. Let's overlay the two. Very gladly, that's relatively simple. Let's do this one more time and then we see that the S&P is not yet included here at all. The 2004-hour chart up to the 1-hour chart is still not included. So it's still missing. It will be added here. In the next video, we will look further into how everything behaves. But as I said, it will take this red curve with it, but at the same time, it will shoot up. It's very positive to observe the whole situation, cheaper money and purchases for corporate clients at Commerzbank. Now, of course, the big question for you is, what do you think? Do you think this whole thing is positive? Can we now kick off a wonderful winter with many live streams from us? Or do you say, no, something else is going to happen? I don't trust the whole thing yet, and I'd like to see it again. And that's something where I ask, what is your highest price target for 2024? That's a question I always get, and I would like to pose it back to you. Just a note that we already have the highest price for 2024 here on the Coinbase chart. So let's say round is the highest, SOS EOS, as of 2024 so far. Now your predictions, write your comments, 80, 90, 100, who offers more? In this sense, I am looking forward to your comments. Remember our free crypto Telegram group where anyone can write what they want and get questions answered. I believe someone has been helped again today. I have only skimmed through it so far because I was out and about. I'll tell you everything in the live stream about what's going on with me right now. In this sense, I want to say thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.